I expect that some of you have probably seen this film before. I mean, Hitchcock is one of the most iconic names of 20th century film. But even though he's incredibly prolific, he had a directorial credit on something like 60 films. This, along with maybe 4 or 5 others, are the only ones that people, the common people, would be able to list off and credit to him. And I think that's kind of interesting because he spans a lot of different themes, styles, and why does this particularly disturbing film resonate with so many people in America? I mean, there's books and books worth of information on the themes, motifs, and symbolism, all that kind of stuff in this film along with others, but I don't particularly think that that is what sets it apart from the others. I think that, as he put it himself, like, it's his best movie because it's pure film. It's something about the style and the way he approached it with this gives people evokes this visceral reaction about being in the shoes of the who we start to see as the protagonist. People familiar with true crime are probably also aware that this is the first instance of horror antagonist being based off of the Ed Gein case, which was only hit the papers a couple of years before Psycho came out, and this was actually an adaptation of a book about Ed Gein. Others would be like Silence of the Lambs, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and based on my research, this is actually the most accurate depiction of that. But I think that that supposed realism is pretty interesting because he what art and cinema does is it puts people in a place where they're unfamiliar. I mean, that's what makes stuff like this so interesting, and I think it really puts viewers in the shoes of those experiencing this kind of phenomenon in 1960. I mean, we're so, I guess, desensitized to violence and not necessarily moviegoer, but even just there's a big culture of violence nowadays with the television of the war, and just it's much more normalized, and in the midst of I guess Cold War era American exceptional philosophy being pushed during this time, people simply could not understand this case of this guy that is just wearing people's
effort to show a flushing toilet. That is true. But Psycho, it just really before this, most horror films were either science fiction type with guy in a plastic alien costume, or gothic, go to some castle set. But nothing before this where you based off a true real-life horror, as previously said. The book it's based off is Psycho by Robert Bloch, and again, as previously mentioned, it's based off of Ed Gein, a serial killer who was, of course, domineered by his mother even after her death, and tried to create a suit out of woman's skin, even though he actually apparently only killed 2 people. But Ed Gein, yeah, as previously said, he was really is an influential figure in movie history. Not only Norman Bates from Psycho, but also Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs. But Psycho really did change not just horror film, but movies overall, and violence. Basically, Psycho just made every other movie after it we could actually show very hard violence. Even today, I still think the shot in the shower where you see the split second of the knife about to go into the woman's belly. You don't see it actually go in, but you just see it 1 split second before. It's such a shocking image, and I can't even imagine in 1960 what it's like to see that. Psycho is one of those films where I wish I'd be able not to know what it was about before I saw it, because everyone knows it. The shower scene, the twist, what happens. I'm be really interested, like, how shocked the audience felt when they first saw it. But other than that, Psycho has had a lasting legacy.